Hi everyone, today we have a great guest here at the House of Eldridge, and it's someone that I've been admiring for a long time. I've been admiring her YouTube and her Instagram. Her name's Iskra Lawrence, and she makes these incredible videos really helping young girls with body confidence, helping all of us with body confidence, and she's just a great role model. So Iskra, I looked at your Instagram, you do lots of natural looks, but
Yes.
you showed me an image this morning of a model with a really strong, almost reddish eye makeup. And that's what you
Yes.
fancy trying today.
It is. It's those warm tones that I've seen coming in. I saw them at Fashion Week, and I just think that they're so gorgeous and luxe. And I'd love to try that with you.
I think the red as well with your blue eyes, obviously it's an amazing combination. So it's going to make your eyes look very, very blue.
Very excited.
I thought I'd probably use these sorts of colours because it'd be nice if we can make it a little bit glittery as well, maybe. These sorts of colours from the Huda palette, Saffron, Turkish Delight and Cosmo. And actually I'm going to start with a light colour, which is this colour, which is called Shy, so more of a pinky tone. I'm going to use that all over. So yeah, this will be a bit of a change for you.
It will be, and
Bit of a
while
new
I'm
direction.
with the pro. So I have the Huda Rose Gold palette. It's one of my faves.
Oh, you do? Have you tried it out?
I have. You know what it's like though, you tend to stick to the same colours. That's why I'm excited you're playing with them.
So I'm just going in a little bit more with this tone called Shy again, which is the pinky tone. It looks a lot darker actually than it does in the palette, which is a good transition colour. Going all over the lid and up a little bit into the socket line. So I'm keeping this all very blended at the moment.
It's such a soft brush.
This is a Suqqu brush, and these are my favourite brushes because they're just so incredibly soft. So next I'm going to use Saffron and start to just intensify this redness at the outer edge, just like that, and blend. So I love that your Instagram and YouTube is all about confidence, body image. You're so inspirational to so many girls.
Oh, thank you.
And
Lisa.
I love your videos that you make.
Oh no, well I really
How
started.
did you get into that?
Well, it was back in 2013. I struggled in the modelling industry. I never fitted the sample size, and I got dropped when I was 15. I started modelling at 13 because my hips were too big.
Got dropped at 15. Even those words, got dropped at 15, are so
I know.
horrific.
Mhm.
Oh, you poor thing.
So it led me into a very dark place with my body image, and I then heard about plus size modelling when I was about 18, 19, and then I went to an agency and they said I was too small.
Oh,
So
you went from being too big to being too small.
yeah, so I just
Oh.
thought this isn't okay that people are asking people to change to fit those such small little stereotypes and beauty ideals. So I just wanted to be a healthy, normal model that was happy and promote that rather than anything else. Women and men the same, we have this desire to be slim because of the images that we're bombarded with from the media and society that tells us, you know, to be happy and successful, we have to look a certain way. And it's a lot of pressure, and now social media has added to that, where young people are seeing these flawless,
Perfect
perfected
images.
images, and they're thinking that that's real, and it's not.
Using a slightly more shimmery shade, you probably noticed, onto Iskra's lid. This one is called Turkish Delight. I put it on with a brush initially and it dropped down a little bit too much, so I'm just patting it on with a flat brush and then blending it just at the edges. So just dabbing it on. Just open your eyes there. Yeah, you can see how the blueness is coming through. We've got a lot of drop down here, but don't worry about that. That will all be sorted out, and this is why we do eyes first and base afterwards. Now I'm using the shade Saffron along the lower lash line. For a red tone, this is a really flattering shade. So how do you find modelling in New York?
Oh, I absolutely love it. There's such an energy in New York that I felt really encouraged to just kind of go for things, and gave me a lot of motivation, and then everyone that I've met and connected with. But I always miss home. I miss England.
Yes, and you said that your boyfriend lives in the UK, so you
Yeah.
must miss him a lot.
I do, and the dogs and my parents. I'm an only child, so
Oh,
very close to my mom. She's my best friend.
does
so.
she come and visit you?
She does. She comes about 4 times a year, and
Oh,
she loves
great.
it, and she thinks she's a local, like, New Yorker now, which is so cute. She has her favourite spots.
Is she into makeup and beauty and fashion and all that?
So this is actually the really special thing. My mom didn't know about makeup until she started watching your videos.
Oh.
And it was, I can't remember how it first happened, but my mom had filled in her eyebrows and I was like, when did you learn about this? And she said, oh, I've been watching Lisa Eldridge's videos. And I was like, oh my goodness. And yeah, she kind of found this love for makeup, but in a really natural, organic way, because I think you really teach the basics and then are able to build up. So if you just want to know a little bit.
Yeah, and then you can go as far as you want with it.
Exactly. But it really made her feel unintimidated and that she could try things, which is so nice.
Oh, we'll have to get your mum on for a video.
She'd love that.
Let's do a double. Onto eyeliner, I'm going to use the Louboutin. I've never used this one before, but it is literally pure red. Looks almost like a lip liner. And the packaging is insane, isn't it?
I have a story about the packaging as well.
What's your story?
So a girlfriend had it in her kit bag, went through security at an airport in the US, and they stopped her and they said, you have a weapon in your bag. And she said, no, that's my nail varnish. And then they made her confiscate it. I'm very excited. I've never had red eyeliner.
It's almost like a pinky red. I'm going to have to stipple it on. It's not as full coverage as I was expecting. And then I'm just filling in those corners. I'm actually going to go over with a slightly more burgundy shade now. I'm going to mix saffron and oud just to get some depth of that corner. And because it's quite a thick brush on the end of this, I'm going to take the colour off onto one of my little art brushes. To give a finer point there. So I'm actually just going over the eyeliner now. I think for this look it was a little bit too red. So I'm using the saffron shade and a little bit of a shade called Oud, just to soften, and also, look up for me, darling, and just bring it slightly underneath so it's a bit more defined as well at that outer edge there.
I think it was only about 2 years ago I started doing that, like bringing it down under my eye, the powders.
I really just didn't do it before because you...
Yeah, I guess. I think
like
you do
look.
have to have confidence with makeup, and that's why these videos are really great.
So now I'm using Oud, which is the darker, almost reddish brown shade again. To add a bit more depth there and a little bit more into the socket. And try this colour Twilight, so the inner corner, slightly lilac-y. Quite like that.
Definitely wouldn't have thought to do that, but I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a bit different. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glitter just on the centre of your lid.
There's definitely no rules, is there?
No, I'm just sort of trying out this palette, so I'm kind of like dipping and dabbing and seeing what comes out of it. And glitter's something that I think if you're a little bit old you tend to steer away from, but you don't have to put it all over the lid. You can just have a dab, you know, just in the centre of the lid, or just in the inner corner, or just a little bit along the lower lash line. Looks really nice as well, so don't feel like, oh well, glitter, you know, I'm over 30, I can't wear it.
Have fun with it.
Exactly. And then before I finish eyes, I think I'm going to just crack on with skin. So I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Bare Pro, which I tried out the other night and I thought it was a really nice foundation. It's one of those that's quite buildable, but you can start off with quite a sheer layer and then build up a bit more. And if you've got a big buffing brush, you can use it to buff over, smoothing out. It's a really nice shade for you.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to use the light and the light medium Shape Tape concealer, mixing it together, using under the eyes and just here and there. This is quite thick, so you don't need a lot of it.
Been excited for you to try this on me because I've heard so much about this concealer.
It is really good, but it's very, very, it gives a lot of coverage, which is great because it means you can work in a small amount and really blend it, and it lasts, it doesn't crease, all of those things which are great. However, if you put on tons and tons and tons in daylight, it looks pretty heavy.
And how does it work if you have a light coverage foundation but a heavy concealer.
Well, this is the thing, you need your textures to match, so you need to thin down your concealer, or if you just use it really where you need it and not everywhere, somehow you trick the eye. Like when people look at you, they don't notice that, say, a spot has got heavy coverage on and other areas of your face have a lighter coverage. But if you do, you know, half of your face really heavy and half light, you'll kind of have the sensation of, you know, feeling its different textures. So that's why I like to really work in those layers. Keep them thin, and then if you need another layer, of course you can always add another layer rather than start off with one incredibly thick layer. You've got a little spot.
I do. I have some friends.
A couple of little visitors there.
I do. I always get those, and like hormonally, and I think dietary a little bit as well. Like when I have some dairy.
When you're travelling and working, it's hard to
that as well. Lack of sleep, not enough water.
Yeah. In fact, you're going to New York today, right? Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm slightly under pressure here, guys, because
I forgot my passport.
So we were sort of thinking, shall we do this tutorial today or postpone it? But Iskra was like, no, let's do the tutorial.
Yeah.
And we're relying on Dad.
We are.
To go and get the passport.
I wasn't missing out filming with Lisa. It's like, no, priorities. I can get another flight.
So poor Dad is racing across the country as we speak.
He really is, bless him.
And hopefully meeting you at Heathrow in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
With the passport.
Yeah. Moral of the story, remember your passport.
So I'm just going to use a little bit of powder to set that. Not really under your eyes because it's going to be too dry with powder on top of the Shape Tape, I think. Whereas you're better off with a layer that's really well blended and then leaving it, unless you've got very oily skin. Going to do a little liquid highlight. Eyelashes curled. You have got amazing eyelashes.
Thank you.
And do lower lashes first, just so you don't have to worry about looking up when I've done the top ones. So I've put a set of lashes on the top there. They're the Japanese ones. They're not really intense, but they just increase the volume at the outer edge. So this is a half set, quite feathery lashes, and they feel quite nice, don't they?
It's like you're not wearing anything.
I do have different nail varnishes on different hands, by the way. It's a long story. We won't go there right now.
Just been one of those days.
It is one of those days. Just open for me. How does that feel?
It feels great.
Oh, looks so nice. On to brows. This is the Gosh palette. I like this one because it does have those cool tones in, which will really suit your colouring. Not too warm.
Yeah.
Gel those into place. On to contouring. I'm just going to start at the top of your ear and gently work down and to keep it nice and soft. I'd love you to tell me about your favourite video that you've done, because you've done some really great ones, but which for you is your favourite?
I mean, there's so many special ones, but I think the best video I've ever got is the one of my TED Talk.
Oh my god, I didn't even know you did a TED Talk.
Yes,
I love TED Talks.
I did it in January in Nevada, and in front of 1,500 people. My dad was on the front row.
Was he?
It was really special, and the whole point was I was sharing the things I've learnt over my years, not just as a model, but just my experience with my body and my self-esteem and my mental health, and basically telling people that we shouldn't be pursuing perfection because perfection doesn't exist. And so if we're controlled by our insecurities, we're less able to achieve our full potential. So it's kind of like freeing bonds.
Yourself.
Yeah.
And if you free yourself from all of that, I guess you've got more time to achieve things, to do things, because we waste so much time.
If your purpose when you wake up is to lose weight or look a certain way or whatever it might be, if that's all consuming, you're missing out on so many other aspects of challenging yourself, learning, surrounding yourself with culture, or just, putting in hard work at your job and enjoying life. So it's really encouraging people to, invest time into looking after themselves and not just,
worrying unnecessarily. Using a little bit more bronzer. This is just to blend in the contouring. It's a little touch warmer. I'm thinking of this Toile blush because it has some of the warmth of the shadow, but it's also a little bit more fresh. Now I had planned to use a dark lip colour here, but we have run out of time, so I'm going to go for more of a natural colour. I've chosen this shade, which I think works really well with the rest of the makeup, and just going to now enhance and sculpt a little bit with a pencil after. To complete the eye look, I'm going back in with Celestial and the gold shade underneath, just to really smooth that transition between the shadow and the brow bone. And now that the base is all finished, I'm going to do one final buff over the lower lash line shadow. So as a final touch, I'm adding a bronzy coloured pencil just through the lower lash line. And just a tiny bit of highlighter. This is just an eyeshadow from the palette. I think you are ready. Have a look. I know we're on a bit of a timetable here.
I know. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, I love it.
It's very different for you, isn't it?
It is. It's so different, but wow.
And
then even that
and
touch you did, and there's like so much depth to it. Wow. The lashes.
I'm glad you like it.
I love it.
You look fantastic.
I wish I could do it myself, but maybe when I rewatch our video, I can try
it. You can do it yourself, and I need you to send me a picture.
Definitely.
But now I'm going to have to ask you to run, and please can you call us from the airport just to let us know that you've got your passport, Dad got there, and you got your flight.
Yes,
okay?
I will. Oh,
thank you so much
for having me on. So I got to Heathrow, and look who I found, my dad, and he brought my passport, and we've made it in time, and I'm heading to New York. So thank you all for watching this video. Thank you, Lisa. I love my makeup. Look how good it still looks. Sending you lots of love. Bye.
Bye.